Alright, so with the announcement of Brave Frontier Origin, which is basically, from what it seems like, it's going to be a remake of the OG Brave Frontier. A lot of people have been kind of asking what's going to happen with Brave Frontier Recoded, because obviously Brave Frontier Recoded was made so that way the fans can experience Brave Frontier in the big 20, well, whenever that game's coming out. And now that we have Alm basically making Brave Frontier again, people have been wondering what this means for this. We have a Reddit post about this. I think even the creator of Recoded also commented. So let's read this and see what people are talking about. So, with Brave Frontier Origin officially announced, what happens to Recoded now? I honestly never thought we'd see an official Brave Frontier game again. When I saw the Origin announcement, I was excited, but it also made me wonder about something. What happens to Brave Frontier Recoded now? For the last few years, Re has basically been keeping Brave Frontier alive for a lot of us. The team has put a lot of work into rebuilding the game, and it's because the place many old and it's become the place many old players were looking forward to. Now suddenly we have an official revival coming from Alm. I'm not trying to compare the two or start a this one is better argument. I'm genuinely curious on what everyone thinks. Do you think Recoded will keep going like it always planned? Will both projects exist side by side, or do you think most people will move over to Origin once it releases? I'm also curious what everyone expects from Origin. For me, I really hope they don't lose what made Brave Frontier special in the first place. I want the pixel art, the classic gameplay, a good story, fun events, and hopefully not a game that's completely driven by power creep or excessive monetization. After all these years, it's honestly weird in a good way to be talking about a new official Brave Frontier again. What do you all think? Are you excited? Are you more excited for Origin, Re, or both? Okay, so that's definitely something. This is definitely something. To answer the question, I'm excited for both, because just in case, and let's hope this does not happen, that Brave Frontier Origin doesn't last so long. At least if the people working on Recoded, they still work on it, at least we can still have that to go to in case Origin doesn't last that long, or it's not what we think it is, which, again, I think it's going to be what they said it is, a revival of Brave Frontier. So I think we're in good hands, but just in case we're not, I think it would be good to have both, so that way, just in case one fails, we have the other. Honestly, if all wanted to, they could just hire the Recoded staff to help them work on it. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm just saying. Alright. To be honest, I hope they continue. I would gladly have both. A lot of Brave Frontier for me is nostalgia, and a new endeavor won't capture, but Recoded absolutely would. Recoded is going to continue for the foreseeable future. As far as I know, they have yet to release a, what was that? What is a C&D? Anyways. Oh, yep, we have the director. Alright. Hey everyone, Nelly, director of the Brave Frontier. Wow, that does not say Brave Frontier. Of the Recoded project. We understand everyone is very skeptical regarding the news of Brave Frontier Origin. I would like to give a heads up that this will not be stopping the plans we currently have ahead for Recoded. Let's fucking go. Nelly, you're the GOAT. We have come so far and are nearing our goal towards delivering you all something great. While we know our future may remain uncertain, what I can say is certain is our passion for making the best Brave Frontier possible for you all. Given the history of the past releases for Brave Frontier titles, while remaining supportive of the parent that brought us Brave Frontier, history has repeated itself time and time again with how they handled their previous titles. While Brave Frontier Origins has the opportunity to shut down, Recoded will truly never die. Ooh. And Nelly's basically saying, like, look, we're excited that we're getting this, right? But at the same time, they fumbled so many times that basically we're gonna, they might shut down Origin, but we're not going nowhere. We're never shutting this shit down. That's basically what they're saying. Nicer, of course, but that's basically what they're saying. Love to hear it. Can't wait. I am a bit skeptical as well about Origins. I have seen the work y'all are doing and are more confident in what you are doing. A season and assist. Okay, anyways. We don't know, but a cease and assist is in the possibility. It really makes sense. If fandom using the company's IP and becoming a direct competitor is taking potential players away, less potential revenue. I doubt they would want to absorb the project if they closed Brave Frontier 1 due to lack of revenue, and it would also double their workload doing updates and patches for two games that are far too similar. But Alm isn't working on Recoded. That's made by the fans. And I mean, I don't think Recoded's gonna have any monetization. I think it's basically just gonna be Brave Frontier without the monetization. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's what it is. I mean, unfortunately, I could see them hitting these guys with a cease and assist because they are using the IP for not monetization, but they're using it without, I guess, permission. So I could see them doing that. I just hope they don't. Hopefully they just let it rock and not take it down. But yeah, I could see it happening, unfortunately. That is the most likely, albeit unfortunate possibility. At this point, I assume they either pivot to working on an underground, reskin their work, or just stop. The state of mobile games is a lot different than when Brave Frontier released, and there's a decent chance Origin comes and goes before Recoded becomes playable considering their time frame. I really hope it continues, considering Origins is likely to feel a bit different than the original. At the very least, we already know the art style has changed, which, true, but I mean, it doesn't look that bad. I actually like the way the new sprites look. That looks really cool. So I'm not mad. I don't care if it's they changed very small stuff, but if they went from it being pixel to 3D, then it's kind of just I mean, I would still be excited, but I don't know. It kind of reminds me of when Disgaea. I know, man, two different things, but it reminds me of when we got Disgaea 5 a very long time ago, and then we got Disgaea 6, and Disgaea 6 was in 3D, and along with other things, the new change in art direction was kind of just people were I don't know if I'm really feeling this, but other people enjoyed it. I was kind of in the middle because I didn't hate the 3D art style they went for. It didn't look bad, but it was just, it took time to get used to because you're so used to playing Disgaea 2D and then it's 3D. So, I'm on to bet there are people who are going to be upset about the art change because they grew up with Brave Frontier looking a certain way, and them changing their art style a little bit probably will annoy some people, but it is what it is. Hold on. Okay, so it looks like I have another Brave Frontier video to make sometime soon. I don't know when I'm making it. Anyways, yeah. I hope it continues. Okay. If the IP ain't dead, then they'll cease and desist Recoded unless the devs of Recoded can get Alm to approve them. Yeah. I know this would never happen in a million years, and it's literally almost impossible for this to ever happen. Yeah. Like you said, this probably will never happen, but it would be nice if they did work together. But again, I don't think this is happening. Would be great, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Okay. Long post, someone didn't read. Dude, how long is this post? Alright, we'll give this a shot. Alright. Recoded team should continue to work as much legally possible in case Brave Frontier Origin somehow doesn't last. Origin needs to keep the core of the gameplay of Brave Frontier 1, a similar gacha for summons, and keep heavy emphasis on multiple grindable post-story systems. Yes, I agree. Again, a lot of people were saying they weren't excited for the Summoners arc in OG Brave, but I think if they didn't have the Summoners arc, and once you beat Karana, it's kind of just that's it. You really couldn't do nothing else. You could refight him, but that was basically, you could do trials, but once you've beaten trials, that was it. So I am glad that they added that because it gives you a way to use characters you wouldn't normally use. Since I would remember so many times looking up how to beat stuff, and you couldn't just use your main team that you used in the normal Brave Frontier. You had to grind out for levels, and then you were able to select like five stars, and then yada yada yada. So it had something more to do than just not doing nothing, just logging in just to get your gems, wait for Frontier Hunter, and basically that was it. Maybe do raids if they had more raids, but other than that, once you beat like Karana, that was it. Unless you didn't get Zerg or Keymaster Galena, or like the other characters that were in the event thing that had a very low drop rate. By the way, it's crazy how I still remember the names of these characters. It's been a long time since I've done this. Obviously, I can't no more because the game's gone, but that's just crazy how that's sticking in my head. Anyways, but yeah, so they should do that. They should have more stuff too. What? I don't know. Personally, I hope the Recoded team continues to work as much as... Oh, wait. Did it oh. Wait. Okay. Alright. Continues to work as much as they're legally allowed to work even after Origin releases. I'm more excited for Brave Frontier returning than I have been for any other game in years, but the last couple of attempts have made me cautiously optimistic at best for now. We don't know enough about exactly how the game will look yet, so if it ends up sucking and EOSing in 2 years, then I wouldn't want the Recoded team to have built with that momentum again. As for what I'd want from Origin, I could write a whole essay about what made Brave Frontier my favorite gacha. The core points are the gacha system itself was fundamentally very forgiving in ways you don't typically see in other gachas. I can elaborate on this. The out-of-story content, raids, trials, Grand Gaia Chronicles, Frontier Hunter, Grand Quest, Arenas, Coliseum, holy shit, it's crazy how I knew what those stood for, were all both mostly well balanced and very rewarding to engage with. True. I forgot about like some of this stuff, but yeah, no, Grand Quests were great. They were fantastic. Same thing with the Grand Gaia Chronicles, because again, it had you use usually different teams than what you would use to clear content in the main game, since some of those had like certain rules. And after you beat a Grand Gaia Chronicle, you would get like, I think 5 gems and like a weapon for a certain character or something. It was just good. It was good because those were fun to do. I remember so many times of like having to try again to beat a Grand Gaia Chronicle, and then when I did, I'd be like, oh my god, finally. I can finally rest. I can now make my Vargas even stronger. Or my Lance, my Magarus, my Ultro, my Selena strong. You get what I mean. Like, it was just fun. Grand Quests were also great too. I remember I basically spent all day doing one because I was gone somewhere. And I basically spent that entire day trying to beat it. Like, I did not close out of Brave Frontier that entire day because I was scared that if I did, I was going to lose my progress and have to start from the beginning again. I don't remember which one it was. I don't remember what Grand Quest it was, but I know it was a long one. And yeah, it's just, I would just love to have that back. It's just, man, so much nostalgia. But yeah, no, I definitely do agree. They should have this. More games should have stuff like this, but a lot of them don't, to be honest. For whatever reason, Gummy/Alm decided to cook with the story, the characters, and world building in ways wow. I never would have expected from a freaking mobile game. This is more common nowadays, but I don't think even most gachas around that time cared this much. True. I say as I skip the majority of the story in Brave Frontier. I would actually prefer Brave Frontier Origin was a paid game and had very minimal microtransactions and very minimal Michael Jackson microtransactions. An example, skins, as opposed to bringing back the old gacha system, because their old system was clearly unsustainable. I think this is literally what happened to to Final Fantasy Brave Exvius as we speak. That game is dead, brother. I want that treatment. Oh, you're talking about the game that they're getting. Let me finish and then I'll come back to that. But points 2 and 3 were crucial in any case, and I hope they can bring that back. During the year that Brave Frontier 2 was live, Brave Frontier 2 was around longer than just a year. It was not just a year. It was live. They managed to absolutely hit the mark again, in my opinion. So I think they do know how to replicate it. I mean, I think bro has some good ideas. Again, Brave Frontier 2 was not around for just a year. It was around longer, a little bit longer, but not just a year. Anyways, going back to the where'd you say this at? Basically, a paid version of this game. I mean, I really don't know about that one. I guess it would depend on how much they would have us spend for this game. If it was like $5 and it had, you know, it had all the stuff, sure. But if they're gonna be like, you know what, guys, we're gonna make Brave Frontier Origin paid, and it's gonna be a full price game, no, I do not want that. I do not want to pay $70 because we live in 2026 to where games are not going up. I would not want to pay $70 for a Brave Frontier game. As much as I do love Brave Frontier, no. Now, if you're gonna make it paid, which you should not do, just make it $5. I think $5 is even pushing it, but if you make it $5, sure, that's fine. Just don't make it $60, because with $60, well, when I'm recording this, the Steam Summer Sale is still going on. So with $60, you could buy Slay the Spire, great game, has a bunch of mods. You could buy the second version of that game, also has mods. That's what? You're at $30 right now, like 30 something. You could buy Stardew Valley, great, pixelated, fantastic. Like what, 37? You get what I mean? Like, you can buy all these other games, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 for $1, and that's not counting the DLC. But there are other things you could buy with $70 than just one game. So I don't think they should do that. But I think all the other points, I definitely do agree with a lot of these. Again, Brave Frontier 2 was around longer than just a year. And they did good with Brave Frontier 2, because you were able to just outright buy the unit instead of having to summon for the unit. And I do think if Brave Frontier 2 came out globally, it might have been around a little bit longer, but no, it never made it to Japan. So that's another knock against that one. But yeah. I'll wait to know the core gameplay of Origin before I can fully form an opinion. I'm not sure what the creator of Recoded does for a living, but it'd be cool if the Origin team extended. Yeah. Recoded, if I remember right, said it's more of a hobby than anything. Some of the comments from the Recoded team in the past made it seem like there had been some direct communications with people at home. So honestly, I'm not sure about a cease and desist coming from them, though it would certainly impact the timeline depending on how close the two games would feel like each other. That Alm would kindly wait for them not to release anything anytime close to their release. Maybe not just how close two games would feel like each other, that Alm would, quote, kindly wait for them to not release anytime close. Yeah, but Recoded isn't coming out until like 2030, I think. So, Origin comes out next year. So, unless for some reason, well, I probably need to watch the stream of Recoded. Unless Recoded said, yeah, guys, actually, Recoded's coming out next year. I don't think that's happening. But yeah. Hopefully nothing, they won't be the same game nor the existing experience. I mean, Recoded's gonna be fun. Like, a lot of people have said, you know, Recoded's not going nowhere, obviously, as we know. And even if Origin does come out and it, like, feeds us for a little bit. I do, and obviously we know that they're still working on it, but even if they didn't say that, I would still tell them like to still work on it just in case things don't go well, and all the other stuff. So, yeah. So there you go. That we have answered that question about what's gonna happen with Recoded. I'm glad they're still working on it. I'm glad that they're not basically putting their hands up, being like, "Well, guys, it's been a great 4 years or 5 years or however many years it's been since we worked on this, but Origin's coming out, so looks like we're gonna have to throw everything away." We've had the server build and stuff, but yeah, they're almost making it, so we have to go away. So I'm glad that they're not, and yeah. Again, I'm excited for both, obviously, and hopefully all of you guys are too. You guys can support both, even though I think one's only going to be on computer, one's going to be on phone, but just support both, because if we show that we appreciate Origin, they might add more stuff to it. So when this comes out, obviously just don't spend money day one when this comes out. Wait until you see how they do things with it, and then decide if you're going to spend money. But support both, and it's good to be a Brave Frontier fan. Like we're eating, we are just grubbing. But yeah, Brave Frontier, Recoded, and Origin. Origin comes out next year. Recoded, it's still being worked on, so in case one dies, we still have the other. So thank you Brave Frontier Recoded. Thank you Brave Frontier Recoded. Thank you all for bringing back Brave Frontier OG, sort of, and yeah.